350. Anginelli tackled for the lead by Classic Ella. Minuetto Rouge on the inside, and then comes Parla. It's Ginelli on the inside and Classic Ella. Classic Ella's got the head in front now from Ginelli. A length away Parla, and here comes Baydayonge putting in her claim now. Forget about Ginelli, the leader Classic Ella. Parla second, then Baydayonge, whose run's ended, but Classic Ella's holding on and is going to get the money, Classic Ella. Classic Ella's just beaten Parla. Third Baydayonge, then Gilding making up ground. Ginelli walked home, so too did Minuetto Rouge, and last was La Maison.
Well, we did mention the fact that Classic Ella was well supported in the ring just before they jumped, and it appears 6 has got the dividend too. Written by Envoit, Classic Ella from number 8, which was Parla, and number 9, Baydayonge. That's the Hughes Brothers Construction Handicap. Let's have a look at openers now. And the Scobie graduation over 1,500 metres for 4-year-olds and upwards.
Wayne Dudley's about halfway in. Previous saw a very good win to Faithful. Thought it won very, very easily. Defeated Jubilee, Cotton and Nura. Most impressive win though. Set to go with the light on. Settled, and they're racing. Mutual Boy was slow to get going, and also Comedy Rose was a little bit slow. Slasher Jack jumped out the best and will lead clearly. From Merry Mixture on the inside, Wayne Dudley the centre, and Back That Cap was also up there wider on the track. They are followed further back in the field then by one going forward quickly. That's Suave Courtship. Turn to Reason's about 4th or 5th. Comedy Rose, after that slow beginning, has been able to drive through and is about 6th. Down on its inside, Merry Mixture from Kachita. They are followed further back in the run then by Lappy Lad, Mutual Boy. It's got 3 behind it at the 1,000-metre mark. Maud Sentiment, Mandalay, and then a gap of about 5 lengths away. Last of all was Stella Vista. They're about to make the home turn now with about 850 to run, and Suave Courtship goes up now to take the lead. Drew about half a length clear of Slasher Jack. Bat That Cat was moving up quickly though. It's joining the leaders. Turn to Reason was just behind those on the outside. Between runners there would have been Wayne Dudley looking to get clear. Further back in the run then Comedy Rose, Kachita. Out wider Maud Sentiments. Lappy Lad was a fair way back in the field from Mutual Boy, Mandalay and Stella Vista. Racing down 400 metres to go. Slasher Jack kicking back on the inside. Back That Cat under the whip on the outside, trying to get on terms. Wayne Dudley coming at them. Here comes Kachita down the outside with Maud Sentiment in the all-white. Further back Merry Mixture, and they are followed then by Lappy Lad making ground. 200 to run. Back That Cat's gone. Kachita goes to the front from Maud Sentiments. Here's Lappy Lad starting to motor home down the outside from Wayne Dudley. The leader was still Kachita. Lappy Lad's grabbed it and gets up to score. Lappy Lad wins in at Kachita. Third placing, I think, Maud Sentiment just in advance of Wayne Dudley. Further back in the field then behind them would have been Merry Mixture. They were followed then by Slasher Jack, which got a little bit tired in the run home. Back That Cat disappointing. Mutual Boy was next in from Turn to Reason, Stella Vista. Comedy Rose a fair way back in the field. They are followed then well back by Mandalay, and Suave Courtship was one of the last to pull up.
What a great ride then by Agreski, Bruce. Lappy Lad booming home down the outside just to get up and beat Kachita.
Looked home, Kachita. Tony must have led a couple of lengths with about 100 to go over Lappy Lad and over the top of them. It's Sire, Lappy. I remember it well, Tony. It was unbeaten, Lappy. Had about 4 runs in South Australia and had very bad legs. Would have been anything. You would have seen it here in Victoria, but that was to be, but now he's leaving his mark as a sire. What about race
5? Quinella 7.45 and the trifecta $87.55. At Randwick, 6 Classic Ella 2.95 and 160. Number 2, number 8 was 2.20. 3, number 9, no third dividend. Quinella 8.75, trifecta 109.90. And Victoria Park race 4, 5 Lappy Lad got up $5.10 and 135. 4 Kachita 170, and 13 was Maud Sentiment at 105. Quinella 12.55, trifecta $319.70. The favourite in race 4 is number 2, which is Prince Gano at $1.20. Good support for number 5, Bruce, as they're all about set to move in now for the first leg of the Melbourne Quadrella.
Just one more to come up, Tony. That's the filly Damsel, who's drawn the outside. This is a terrifically interesting race. Damsel comes up. Prince Gano's been a drifter, and our watchman's come in.
Commanding order, Stardom Lane, Real Purpose among the best to get going with. Gilgood's Bell away well. Scots Lane looking for the lead early too. Kamida's Son at our watchman up about 5th. Where's Prince Gano? It's in front of 3 only. Rinaldi as they settle down, or Rendali. Back with it towards the rear is Dolman and King Lark. Going along towards the 1600 now. Commanding order, a half length Scots Lane, the pacer cracker. 2 to Real Purpose, a half Comida's Son, 1 to Mill Trooper. Our Watchman well up on the fence. A length to Dead of Night, Damsel caught 4 wide. And then a length further back behind those horses is Brisk over on the outside of Stardom Lane. 2 lengths to Prince Gano, 2 further back Dolman. Gilgud's Bell dropping through the field a third last. Then came Rendali and King Lark as they go to the 1200, and Commanding Order setting a real stayer's pace here. 1 length to Scots Lane, a length and a half to Real Purpose and Mill Trooper the outside. Comida's Son niggled at. Our Watchman's had a beautiful ride on the inside, and Damsel still 3 deep around them. 2 to Dead of Night, Brisk coming into the picture at the head of the others from Stardom Lane. They were followed a length and a half to Prince Gano, followed by Dolman. Rendali, Gilgud's Bell and King Lark is last. 800 to go. Scots Lane is taking Commanding Order on, keeping the pace fast. A length further back in the field, then Real Purpose. Mill Trooper the outside. Damsel still deep. Our Watchman travelling beautifully, looking for a run. Then Dead of Night taken to the outside. Prince Gano, but he's going to have to go 6 or 8 wide on the corner. And back behind them as they made the turn, Stardom Lane entering the straight now. Our Watchman's got a great run as Mill Trooper took the lead on the outside. Out after it quickly, Our Watchman. They were followed then behind them. Gilgud's Bell has made up some ground. Also coming into the picture, Stardom Lane and Prince Gano running greenly, and Brisk with a big run. I don't think Prince Gano's in the race. Our Watchman broke clear. Brisk second from Stardom Lane, then Damsel, Prince Gano, Mill Trooper and Rendali, but with 200 to go, Our Watchman's given them the slip properly. It's going to walk in. Our Watchman well clear. In second placing still is Brisk as they go down to the line, and Our Watchman has won at about 4 lengths to Brisk. Rendali, I reckon's grabbed third on the outside, just in front of Stardom Lane. Then Damsel, followed by Prince Gano, didn't stay. Real Purpose next from Mill Trooper, which weakened badly from the turn, Gilgud's Bell. Then Commanding Order, Dolman, Dead of Night, King Lark well back with Scots Lane, and back with it at the rear of the field, Comida's Son. Pretty good thing licked last start at Moonee Valley, and the boy has ridden it a treat today. On the fence all the way. It was the one you wanted to be on all the way, and to add to his the great pleasure, there was a split came that you could drive a Nissan through at the top of the straight, and the lad quickly went through, young apprentice D. Lawson, slipped through to take the lead and has won easily. And they've run 2:2.7, which is pretty good time, isn't it? 2:2.7. You know, for a 3-year-old race. Sky High holds the pace setter record at 2 minutes.
5 Quinella Should pays $8.50, trifecta $238.10. The extra double $27.15. Moving in Flemington, about 5 minutes away from a start there. Late scratching.
My Precocious Lad on the inside. Set to go. They're racing in the Derby. My Precocious Lad stood there flat-footed, missed it a length or so. Bounding Away came out very quickly, and Dittman's going to lead on her in the early stages of the race. Dandy Andy kicking up along the inside. Stealthy Knight showing a bit of speed from out wide. Mayo Card is drifting back. He's last at the moment with King of Brooklyn and Mr. Marceau. At the winning post the first time, not a great deal of speed on. Dandy Andy with the advantage of the inside, leads by a neck. Bounding Away second and travelling pretty easily, followed by Stealthy Knight on the outside of Bounding Away, and then Delphi Dazzle and Finesse Bell together. Princess Gracious 3 wide. My Precocious Lad midfield on the inside of Sabrino, and then Latin Rule, King of Brooklyn, Mr. Marceau, and a length off last is Myocardo. Latin Rule raced very erratically on the turn out of the straight. He speared off the track and he cannoned straight into Mr. Marceau. They didn't lose a great deal of ground. There's no speed on. 1,600 metres to go. Dandy Andy's the pacemaker. Dandy Andy one in front. Bounding Away second, and Stealthy Knight is ahead away third, but 3 wide. Delphi Dazzle a half length away fourth on the inside, then Finesse Bell, Princess Gracious, My Precocious Lad, followed by Sabrino, Mr. Marceau, King of Brooklyn. Latin Rule second last, and Maya Card is a length off last. They're just cantering, 1,300 metres out. Who'll be the first one to make a move? Dandy Andy's the leader. Dandy Andy a length in front of Bounding Away. Stealthy Knight ahead away third on the outside. One to Delphi Dazzle, who's fourth on the inside of Finesse Bell. Then Princess Gracious, My Precocious Lad. No one's made a move as yet. Then Sabrino on the outside. Latin Rule, Mr. Marceau, King of Brooklyn. And Myo Card still last of all, 8 lengths from the leader. 850 metres to go. Dandy Andy in front of Bounding Away. Moving a little bit closer now, the filly on the outside. In third spot is Stealthy Knight, and then Delphi Dazzle on the inside of Finezabelle. Princess Gracious still wide. Over on the inside is My Precocious Lad, then Sabrino. Going forward is Mr. Marceau. Myocard, he's taking the shortcuts. He's going right up along the inside. He's gone from last up into about midfield now, followed by King of Brooklyn and Latin Rule, still racing a little ungenerously at the rear. Coming on towards the home turn, it's a packing field as the Derby set sail for the judge. Bounding away, loomed up on the outside of Dandy Andy. Stealthy Knight coming at them on the outside. Myocard's got that lovely run on the rails. He's just going to need a touch of luck from now on. And Mr. Marceau is joining in quickly on the outside. 250 metres to go. Mr. Marceau's hit the lead. Myocard can't get out. Finezabelle's there in the middle. Mr. Marceau in front of Finezabelle. Stealthy Knight. Latin Rule next on the outside. Mr. Marceau in front. Princess Gracious is cutting him down. Mr. Marceau, Princess Gracious. The Princess grabbed the lead and she's won the Derby. Princess Gracious got up to win it. Princess Gracious first. Mr. Marceau second. Myocard in a photo with Finezabelle for third. Then Delphi Dazzle, Stealthy Knight, followed in by Sabrino, then Latin Rule, My Precocious Lad, King of Brooklyn, Dandy Andy, and bounding away last.
Well, it certainly looks like it's 12-5 and a photo for third with Myocard maybe getting up. Bruce, maybe once too often down the inside.
For sure, Tony, and he didn't get up either. He missed the place. I can tell you now that third will go to Finezabelle. Peter Cook is a great rider, but he made a blue here today. And look at Princess Gracious right over the top of them, getting up to Mr. Marceau. Larry Olsen riding hard. Finezabelle will get third and Myocard fourth. He should have won by 2 or 3 lengths, but I'm glad it's not me. It's Peter Cook coming back, because Dr. Jeff Chapman was a great rugby union player and he's got a rather short temper at times, so it'll be interesting when they get back in the mounting yard today. But
No, they're off in Sydney.
Dominance on the inside, headed immediately by You're the Reason. Sandola moving up swiftly, then hit it again. Grand Cindy up near the speed today. Lady Jordana pratted out very deep. So too is Chez Paris, Atlantic Joy, and then Chamade and Revolve. 2.5 lengths to Gypsy Reward, and well back in the run is Regal Realm. And dropping out to Lars Vicenzina, going along past the 1,200 metres. And the pilot here is Sandola. She scooted away with the lead of 4 or 5 lengths on You're the Reason to Lady Jordana. A little more than a length hit it again. One to Grand Cindy. Dominance dropping off. Chez Paris gone past her. Then Chamade wide out from Atlantic Joy, and a further gap of a length Revolve, Gypsy Reward, Regal Realm, and Vicenzina whips them in over the 850 crossing. No change in the order. Sandola for You're the Reason. 2.5 into Lady Jordana on the inside of Hit It Again, and a couple to Grand Cindy. The inside of Chez Paris. A further 2.5 Atlantic Joy. Gypsy Reward starting to make some ground around them. Then Dominance and Chamade. Revolve third last, and the last pair, Vicenzina and Regal Realm, commencing the run around the corner at the 450, and they're starting to peg back the grey and leader Sandola. You're the Reason goes up to a girth. A length to Hit It Again, Lady Jordana, Chez Paris, and then Gypsy Reward and Grand Cindy at the 250, and You're the Reason a half. Sandola battling on Chez Paris 3 deep, and then Gypsy Reward and Grand Cindy. Now Chez Paris puts the acid test to You're the Reason, and Chez Paris kicked nearly a length. You're the Reason on the outside. Gypsy Reward not picking up Chez Paris, and here's another one for the TJ Smith stable. Chez Paris is going to win it and scores a length and a quarter on the line. Gypsy Reward has run second, and You're the Reason third. Then Grand Cindy, Sandola, Atlantic Joy, Revolve, Dominance, Regal Realm, Hit It Again. Then Vicenzina, Lady Jordana, and last was Chamade.
over the line, 3, 2 and 7 it looks like at Randwick. Chez Paris trained by Tommy Smith, a double for Tommy, so he's pegging back that leader, Brian Mayfield Smith. That filly, we've seen plenty of her in Melbourne, and she's really struck her right form with a win at Randwick at her last 2 starts. Gypsy Reward second, and You're the Reason third, and about $3.45 for the winner. Okay, Tony.
Chez Paris, $3.45 at 125. Number 2, Gypsy Reward, paid 80 cents, and 7. You're the Reason, $1.40. Quinella, $7.40. Trifecta, a pretty healthy $151.25. The extra double in Sydney, $23.85.
They're off and racing. Brogan bounced out well towards the inside. Lammers tied out in the centre, was away okay. Wisamo dropping in behind them with George's Boy up near the lead. Barmine was also heading up towards the leading division. Monterey Boy just in behind the leaders, in between runners. Out wider on the track there was Norland's Pride. Skyborough's trap very wide. They are followed then by Catchadissimo inside of Little Dav. Further back in the field then High Branch. Next along in the run then was Mayura down on the inside of Approach the Bench. About 2 or 3 lengths further back in the field then would have been Specific Aim. They are followed then 2 or 3 lengths further back in the field by Wizamo. Swedish Wonder just up in advance of it. Wizamo's dropped out to last now as Relady joins it on the outside and heads it. They're racing off the back now onto the side with about 1,100 metres to run, and the leader on the inside, Barmine, joined now by Neuland's Pride. Neuland's Pride applying the pressure to Barmine. A length away, Monterey Boy. Back on the inside behind them, Brogan. George's Boy outside of it. They are followed by Little Dav down on the inside. 2 lengths further back in the field then to High Branch down on the inside. Lammer's tied outside of it from Skyborough. They are followed further back in the field by Catchedissimo, getting a fair way back. Approach the benches a long way out of it from Swedish Wonder. Well back as they turn at the 600 was Specific Aim with Relady a long way out of it, and Wizamo back towards the toe with Mayura also back there. Racing in with 4:50 to run, and Norland's Pride takes over now from Barmine beaten. Brogan was running on. Down the outside comes Little Dav starting to motor into it. So too was Skyborough, and Specific Aim down the outside was finishing strongly. Approached the bench between runners, and now Mayura to the outside. 200 to run. Specific Aim on the outside goes up to Little Dav. Still there Skyborough. Mayura was starting to finish strongly on the outside. Mayura coming out after Specific Aim. Mayura doing better on the outside, and Mayura wins. Half a length on the line, Specific Aim. Half a length away, Skyborough's run third. Wizamo's run on nicely to be just behind the place getters. Further back in the field then, behind those would have been Little Dav. Couldn't go on over the last little bit. They are followed by Norland's Pride, approached the bench, Swedish Wonder. George's Boy was further back from Monterey Boy. Barmine got tired. Relady always a long way back from Catchedissimo. Brogan got very tired. High Branch is one of the last to pull up, and back there towards the tail was Lammers Tide.
Adelaide looks like 5, 7 and 4 there, and Bruce McAvaney, Peter Smith certainly having a good day of it with some really good finishes at Victoria Park today.
He's not King's drawn out wide. Now we're set. Ready. Stand well. Away they go. Gates crash open. Look to be a fairly even start. Sentimental Guy, Isa Jack and Ginger Moss away well. Going fast, fly away in the early stages. A number of them coming to the outside, including Valley of Kings, who was bird off early. Cozzy's Kingdom going quickly, and Cool Marie and Judge's Rule is going to head them all off out wide with Red Centurion and Caronay. And Valley of Kings has got a wall of horses in front of him. On the inside, fly away about 2 in front of Isa Jack and Ginger Moss, and Star of Danielle just in behind them. 2 or 3 to Sentimental Guy, and Top of the Silks well off the pace. Outside look to be in front with Red Centurion, Judge's Rule, Fallacious, and Valley of Kings looking to get out from Brahms Edition. Further back, Cosign, Caronay and Regal Sentry and Cozzy's Kingdom. Coming down towards about the 500, and Flyaways come to the outside now with Ginger Moss, and they're knocking Valley of Kings over, where Kilmarie's taken the lead from Judge's Rule, Brahms Edition. Then Red Centurion, Isa Jack in front on the inside. Kilmarie just in front of Judge's Rule. Brahms Edition's run out of ground and coming home pretty well. Flyaway, Kilmarie and Judge's Rule, and down on the inside, Isa Jack. Judge's Rule and Kilmarie out wide have got it between them. Judge's Rule, but Kilmarie fights it off to win by a neck from Judge's Rule, Isa Jack. Flyaway, Brahms Edition and Cozzy's Kingdom. Valley of Kings pulled up before the line. Then Top of the Silk, Star of Danielle. Sentimental Guy further back on the field, Fallacious, Red Centurion, Cosign, Regal Sentry, Caronay, and Valley of Kings and Ginger Moss. I missed that, totally fell at about the 300 metre mark. They got very, very rough and tough there. That's why Valley of Kings was eased out of it. I'd like to have a look at the replay there. But I've missed that. But Kilmarie's won it in 111.6. And I hope the boy, young Simon Marshall's okay on Ginger Moss. He's on the ground at the moment. It got absolutely a rough house. And I missed Ginger Moss going down. Probably went down to the inside to have a look at Isa Jack and Star of Danielle. 111.6. Ginger Moss is okay. You can see him galloping along. And number 10 has won at Kilmarie, Kevin Forrester. Well, Flyaway, that was interesting. Alan Abrahams, inside and then decided to come to the outside. Collected a few. Kilmarie is in front, being tackled by Judge's Rule, who probably got level. Oh, there goes Ginger Moss. He was way in behind them. And, of course, Valley of Kings pulled up. I wonder if we can go back a bit further, boys, and just have a look at it from a bit further out. Pick up the replay a bit earlier. But Judge's Rule's gone up to Kilmarie. On the fence, Isa Jack. Fly away down the outside. And Kilmarie's fought Judge's Rule off. It's not much in it, but it's just one from Judge's Rule. And Flyaway's got third. Okay, let's have a look now. Flyaway, she showed terrific pace on the inside. Over she comes with Ginger Moss. And Caronay, Valley of Kings was having all sorts of trouble getting a run all the way, actually, and finally got clear. Now watch this. Flyaway comes over. Now, this is where I said they bumped into Valley of Kings right there. Still Flyaway comes over. Ginger Moss, and behind it's got the yellow cap, being hard-ridden in about 5th placing on the outside, just outside Flyaway. So Kilmarie in front of Judge's Rule. Now, oh, here goes Flyaway again. Unbelievable, this. Down goes Ginger Moss. Over the top goes Valley of Kings. It almost falls with Fallacious. Well, I don't have to do the steward's job, but you saw what happened. 6.20 and 1.75. Judge's Rule $2. Flyaway $2.80. Somebody is not going to have a ride for a fair while. Officially 4th, number 9, Isajack, and a 5th, number 12, Brahms Edition. That's the roughest I've ever seen a race down the straight at Flemington. I've only been here 3.5 years, but seen a couple.
So let's go back to Bruce for the information, please.
About to get it, Tony, but I could have a guess. It'll be 5th against 3rd. Brahms Edition against Flyaway. Brahms Edition was absolutely pole-axed at about the 300, but I think that's what it will be. But no information at this stage. But it's 10, 1 and 11, but you saw how rough and tough it was there at about the 300. So now here we go. Minor protest.
It's 5th against 3rd.
5th against 3rd, Tony. P. Alderman on Brahms Edition against 3rd, Flyaway. So
Flyaway.
I'd like to have 2 bob each way. That Isajack, who's run 4th, will come up to 3rd. Brahms Edition will come up to 4th. And that dividend for Flyaway of 2.80 may not be there, but we'll see what happens, Tony.
I think it'll fly away. Okay, we'll catch up with those dividends very, very soon. And moving along, we do have a couple of other results from Eagle Farm. 12, Princess Gracious at 19.25 and 3.25. Mr. Marceau, 3.80 at 11. Vanessa Bell, $1.15. Quinella, $255 in the trifecta. What a mammoth dividend, $6,423.40 if you had that in the Derby in Queensland. Round 11, quarter time in the football. North.
Now you've got to get dressed again, get back up the tab to have another bet because they've changed their mind with that C. You've got to think of the tab punters.
Yep, it was obvious early this morning. There's no doubt about it. It was obvious early this morning that the track was going to be slow, very slow in fact, and could only get worse. So really, it took them a long time to make up their minds. Now there's a hollow log on the track here at Royal Randwick. And it happens to be the original brown dog. Surely not the same old brown dog that got onto the track before the 1967 Armadale Cup. It might be. He's got no teeth. Looking at him, I'm not much of a judge of canines, but I'd say that he's a very doubtful parentage. Now, 2 mounted policemen are in hot pursuit, but the little brown dog is not one bit perturbed about the law being hot on his heels. And any moment now, he gives the impression he'll duck under the fence and get onto the course proper. There's a cluster of attendants over near the 600 metres mark trying to head him off at the pass. He's now on the course proper with 2 members of the constabulary proving highly ineffective. I haven't seen a dog on a metropolitan racetrack so close to race time since a Canterbury Guineas day. I can remember 4 or 5 years back when the first race at Canterbury jumped about 8 or 9 minutes late. Now, I know it might appear to be a bit of a comedy caper watching at home. It might be frustrating for punters and all of those things. But from the safety viewpoint, he's got to be caught before this field can be released because it's conceivable that a loose dog on the track could bring a field down. And these little blokes sitting on top of these thoroughbreds are risking life and limb every time they go out without a dog running in front of them. So as the rain tumbles down at Randwick, the dog has disappeared under a big Moreton Bay fig towards the outside section of the track over there, near the 600 metres mark. The runners are being forced to stand flat-footed in the gates for a long time. So that doesn't help punters. So the scratching of at sea and now a long delay before the June Stakes is adding to the frustrations of the punting fraternity throughout Australia. And look at that rain coming down at Randwick. What a dirty day. It'll be interesting to see how these horses jump now. The longer horses are forced to stand flat-footed obviously their chances of missing the start in these races is increased. And in an 1100 metre scamper, you can't afford to have them missing the kick. Now, starter's on his stand, so he's been given the green light that the dog's out of the way, and they're ready to break belatedly. In the June Stakes, the stall's open, they're off and running, and Barloo very flat-footed, so was Gazumped. Towards the outside, Grand Gaelic began brilliantly and spearing through towards the lead in the early stages. Plum Shore, close handy in the early part, showing plenty of pace. Fleming and Sky High Duke as one of the leaders. At the head of the others when they settle down, Blazing Cotton, followed by Sound of Bells. Magic Gleam as well back in the field. Can't go the early pace. Back with it as Stickler as they near the turn, and Barloo went back to be last, and Street Cafes in front of a couple, and Vari's is right up there with the leaders around the turn now in poor visibility, and it's Plum Shore 3 or 4 deep, sharing the lead with Sky High Duke, and Vari's Ace getting the rails run. Grand Gaelic makes a line of 4, a gap to Magic Gleam, who's hard up on the heels of the leaders, looking for a split in the centre, and then Fleming as they top the hill, where it's Plum Shore tackled by little Grand Gaelic. Magic Gleam is now squeezing through in the centre. Plum Shore tackled by Magic Gleam. Magic Gleam headed Plum Shore. Grand Gaelic has called it a day. Magic Gleam drew clear, and it's all over by the shouting. Magic Gleam punched right out as coming away to win the June Stakes for Johnny Marshall. Plum Shore got second, Grand Gaelic third, Vari's Ace fourth, and then Sky High Duke, Blazing Cotton, Stickler, Sound of Bells, Barloo, Street Cafe, and the last couple were Gazumped and Fleming. Street Cafe's name probably rung a chord with you, having his first start today in 2 years. He's been to the stud and has been brought back into training after 2 years off the scene, close to home, and it's Magic Gleam. He's one of those horses that gets his head down and out, and he really stretches his body as he goes to the line. Johnny Marshall goes further ahead in the Jockeys Premiership. That takes him now to 78.5 wins for the season. Wish he could have won the first on QV Bell. Magic Gleam, Ken, good on you, son. That became your selection with that C out of the race.
Yes, John, I don't care now that C was scratched. OK, the next race, she's going to be in front. I don't know if it's quite as good on the rails, but I think Careless Love will lead all the way. God give her strength.
Yep, let's hope the other horse, Bo Jacob, doesn't take her on for the early lead. OK, we've been at Randwick a long time. We're going to leave you now as the rain comes down in 5-ton truckloads. The winter action has been fast and furious here this afternoon, but stick around because there's plenty more to come.
In the centre, Our Silver Jan. Miss Nisku on the inside wants her head. She's racing a little erratically at the moment. On the outside of it, then in turn was Sculpturesque, 2 lengths away to Fine Row. A length further back in the field then to Bomb Alley. And on the outside of Bomb Alley was Savanka Star. They've raced past the 800 metre mark now. And Sydney Maid opened up a break of about 3 or 4 lengths on Flighty Native. Our Silver Jan on the outside of Barbie Girl. They are followed then by Sculpturesque. Miss Nisku back on the inside. Outside of her in turn was Fine Row from Bomb Alley, and still back towards the tail, Savanka Star. Into the straight, 400 out, Sydney Maid heading towards the centre of the track is the leader. Coming out after it, Flighty Native. Also there in the centre, Barbie Girl from Sculpturesque. Out wide are Our Silver Jan. Miss Nisku getting up on the inside, and Fine Row is also going between runners. They still haven't got Sydney Maid. Flighty Native, Miss Nisku and Sculpturesque in the centre. Sculpturesque has hit the front now from Flighty Native, Silver Maid, and down on the inside, Miss Nisku. But Sculpturesque will score. Second placing, give it a Flighty Native just in advance of Sydney Maid. Miss Nisku was just in behind them. They were followed further back in the field then. Next along in the run there would have been Barbie Girl back in behind them. Also back there was Fine Row. It didn't go on from Our Silver Jan, Bomb Alley, and Savanka Star was the last one in a long last.
So it looks like 5, 8 and 11 across the line at Victoria Park. 5, 8 and 11 for the straight-up handicap over 1,250 metres. Race 7 is the next event in Adelaide, the Richmond Handicap. Number 1, Wave Breaker at $5.30. Bowl Game at $5.90. Shah Fire at $4.65. Game Romance $5.55. Mozzie Bite $3.75. Runaway Night $3.85. Smart Kingdom $4.05.
Racing to Ison.